So today I'm going to speak about my testimony. I grew up Catholic, and for a while after not going to church and just not being involved anymore, I started reading books about New Age, meditating, and getting crystals, getting angel cards, all that stuff. And to be honest, I did get a little bit of peace, but I feel it was more of a temporary peace, because the true peace comes from Christ. So after that, doing that for a while, for a couple of years, I started reading the Bible. I want to say November 2020, and then by January 2021, I gave my life to Christ in my room, and I go on fire for the Lord when I started reading the Bible. I would go to sleep late reading the Bible, even though I would get scared. I would be scared of the enemy. He would scare me in my dreams. He would just do all these things. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have experienced that. So that happened in January 2021. And then 2 months later, everything started falling apart in my life. My marriage, just everything. I feel like it was already falling apart, but there was hope in my mind. So in March 2021, I discovered a betrayal. And it's not, I think I wouldn't have realized it, but the reason why I realized it is because someone else told me. And it broke my heart. I remember that day that I found out. I was about to tell God why, but I stopped myself in those seconds and I said, I'm not gonna rebel against you and ask you why. And even though I don't understand it, I still trust you. And I remember that day I went to sleep until 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, because I found out in the night. And it was bad. It was bad. And I remember telling the Lord, if you want me to walk away from this marriage, place it in my heart to do so. But if you want me to stay, I will obey you, but remove the pain from my heart. So a couple of days later, he removed the pain from my heart. It felt like it had only happened in a dream. And I stayed. I didn't understand why he made me stay, but then I understood later. So I stayed. That was March when that situation happened. But by April, I was doing Bible study with someone that I know that it was for that same reason that God told me to stay. This girl was my ex-husband's niece. We started reading the Bible. She came to Christ. And we were just on fire for the Lord. And then I gave the whole situation to God. I wasn't seeking for things or anything, or going through things to find out stuff. No, I just said, Lord, you always bring everything to light. And then exactly a year later, March 2022, I remember that, I saw these things. And my husband at that time, he wasn't at home. So I remember when I saw everything, I was in shock. But the Lord told me right away, you're done. And when he said you're done, within myself, I knew it was over. So I bursted in tears and was crying and crying and crying because I knew it was over. And when, my ex-husband now showed up, I told him that it was over. There was no going back. I had already put up with a lot, and it was time to walk away. And I did that. I didn't know that it was going to be the worst pain I would ever experience when it came to separation. So I left, and that's when God started working on me. I went through it. I still had hope God was going to restore my marriage. I still prayed for my marriage. It was until the Lord told me He wasn't going to restore it. And I struggled with comparison because I kept telling the Lord, why do you restore others' marriage, but you're not going to do mine? And He told me, the same way that He separated, the Israelites from the foreign wives, so they could, keep going with their purpose. He had to do the same. So sometimes we don't understand what the Lord is doing, but He knows the heart of the people. So I trusted and I begged Him to heal my heart, my broken heart. And the Lord did just that. After that prayer, 3 months later, my heart broken, my heart that was broken was healed. And I couldn't believe it because I would see the person with different eyes. There was no love anymore as a partner. There was nothing. And I knew it was a miracle of God because it's not easy to move on or to walk away. Because even then, I struggled with shame because I have a son, and I wanted my family to be together. But you know what? The Lord restored my heart. He reminded me every day that He was now my protector, my provider, and the lover of my soul. He kept showing me every single day that I was loved. And to this day, when I'm gonna cry. I don't like crying on camera, but to this day, He keeps reminding me of how loved I am in His eyes, and how I'm just His little girl, and He loves me beyond all that. And it took me through a season of healing, and it's been 3 years now of walking in obedience, just me and Him and my son, and it has been such a blessing. So I just share this to remind you that God is with you, and you will get through this. God will restore your heart. God will give you a new identity. I know if maybe during this time you're just separating or you're waiting for restoration, sometimes the Lord will restore marriages, but there's going to be times when you even have to accept that He knows better and He's not going to do that. So I just want to encourage you to seek Him, to just abide in Him so He could restore you and just love on you